You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. By the way, if you haven't, I know my world is compartmentalized. A lot of you just watch the YouTubes, a lot of you just do the podcast, but you don't go to the blog, you don't go to the other. Check out my blog, captacapitalism.blogspot.com. Some great photos there of the motorcycle ride. I know not all of you are motorcycle riding, but we went to Gateway, Colorado, and dude, it's just some beautiful stuff. So, and everything's so sad and dark and doomy and gloomy and DACA and terrorist attacks. Go and have a little bit of fun and enjoy the decline and go look at some pretty pictures. Anyway, Shirley writes, "Hi, asshole. I've been a minimalist for about 2 to 3 years. I spend about $5,000 a year and includes everything, rent, food, etc. Are you single? Because there'd probably be some gentlemen that would love to date you if you are that frugal and of the female persuasion. I have enjoyed my simple life because it gives me time to think, enjoy nature, and time to enjoy my life. Sometimes I think if my transition to the minimalist lifestyle came from the fact I was unable to handle the competition. From a very young age, I've seen people being very competitive, political, cutthroat, cunning, and I dislike those traits. But lately, I have been reevaluating the events of my life and have started to wonder, maybe my thinking is wrong, and have now come to accept the reality that we are all animals, and we compete for resources and power because of our instincts to survive. Greed, status, and selfishness in family, friendship, work, and in countries is starting to make a lot of sense these days. There seems to be no escape from competition and politics." Let me interrupt you right here, though. I did take notes on this, but then I just noticed this. But lately I've been reevaluating the events of my life and have started to wonder, maybe my thinking is wrong, and have now come to accept reality that we are animals. We all compete for resources and power because of our instinct to survive. But think about minimalism. This just answers your question immediately. The whole point of minimalism is that you don't need that much in resources. And you said it right here, vanity, which I'm going to go over later. That's resources you don't need to consume. Completely unnecessary. Wasting your time at the office to buy shit you don't need. So the whole point of minimalism is to avoid this cutthroat political office bullshit. I mean, everyone's got to deal with it a little bit unless you come from rich parents that you got particularly lucky when you were younger. But everyone's got to go through this. And dude, trust you and me, the money ain't worth it. It is not that I ever had a lot of money to begin with, but what money I did make, that wasn't worth it. That was totally not worth it. And so kind of maybe you couldn't compete. I could never make enough money because of my mouth. Because of my fucking brain. Everyone else is a fucking moron. And I do mean that. I do absolutely mean that to all you banking fuckers who couldn't see the housing crash coming. Anyway, neither here nor there. But you just kind of answered it like, the whole point of minimalism is to be free so you don't need the resources and you don't have to compete for it. Let the dickwad soccer moms duke it out for the Range Rovers. Let the idiot wannabe bank dude bros with the gray hair duke it out for that precious loan that they got to get their commission on so they can go and lease a car because they can't afford a real one. All right, let them do that's them. You don't need a Beamer. You don't need a Range Rover. You don't need a McMansion. Which means you don't have to tolerate that shit. So that's the whole point of minimalism is to avoid that. There seems to be no escape from competition in politics because it is evolutionarily programmed into us and is part of human nature. Understand this fact. I've been thinking if I need to reorient my life values and become more competitive because minimalist and libertarian ideals seem not be so effective. What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, see, and that's just funny because you're succeeding at minimalism. You get by on $5,000 a year. And you get to spend time in nature and spend time on yourself. You get more of your life to you. You know, everybody roughly lives till about 80. And all these workaholics and these, look at Hillary Clinton. There's a perfect example. Oh my God. What percent of her life has been lived having fun? None of it. It's all power and money and greed and power and greed and money. She got a daughter somewhere there and the daughter had a kid somewhere. You think Hillary Clinton spends time with her granddaughter? Hell no. But you are succeeding already. I don't see why you have to go and compete. So, all right, let's go and let's talk about it. I did take some notes here. All right. First, what you're observing is 100% true. Greed, cutthroat, immorality, everything, that is part of human nature. Most humans. There are some more moral ones. There are some good people. But by and large, humans are driven by two things. One, your Darwinistic goal of basically getting an unlimited supply of money and resources, kind of the fuck you position, fuck you money, to be independently wealthy. And the other one, which I don't understand, is vanity or popularity. Like, oh, we have to be the, and I see it with my eyes, but I can't believe it. Like, I got a buddy who lives in a rather well-to-do suburb of Denver, and he's showing me all these people and all these cars they all got leased, and they're all up to their necks in debt. And he's like, yeah, that person over there, he lives paycheck to paycheck, and that gal over there, she lives paycheck to paycheck. I'm like, they're in these massive houses. And for what? For what? For vanity, for to show off. But I don't get it. All I'm saying is that is so ingrained. It's like, I may not understand it, but I do accept that that is part of human nature. All right? And so these two things, one, to get fuck you money and be independently wealthy. And then also to buy shit for vanity's sake. Just so I guess you can be queen bee of the neighborhood or a big dick on the farm or whatever people piss away the money on for whatever reason why. This leads to all the behaviors that you're talking about. Competition, cutthroat, office politics, backstabbing, all this other shit that these people pursue is a direct result of them having to have it all. And if they don't have it, which is the majority of most, they can't afford it, the majority of people's cases, they will borrow the money to do it. And then when you get someone who is like living paycheck to paycheck and they have all this and they got to keep up the facade. I've told the story before. I'll tell it again. Let me tell you the story again. There was this couple. They made $500,000 a year. They were rich, okay? And they had gotten the most amount of money they qualified for together for a mortgage. And they bought this house with it, and they didn't furnish it. That's the whole point. So to have a house opening party, this veritable mansion, they invite the neighbors over. They didn't have enough money to furnish it. So what did they do? They rented furniture for that one night and then returned it all. Okay? That's insanity. That's bullshit. And if you get to that point in life, you're psychotic. And you will say fuck morals. And you will say fuck what's right. I will backstab Jim because Jim's doing better than me. I will fabricate, I will tinker with Amy's report and put a bunch of spelling errors in there. I will doctor though. I mean, this is where you get into, I guarantee you there's a direct connection between the amount of debt people have, their McMansions and their cars and on their student loans, and whether or not they're backstabbing people and cheating at work or embezzling your either outright criminal or at least unethical behavior. So that is what they'll do, anything, lie, rob, cheat, steal, so that they can have those two things. Now, just because they do it doesn't mean you should. And to be very blunt and direct to you and pretty much all my listeners, we're superior people to them. We are. The minimalist, or at least the person that puts family and loved ones and their fellow man first and foremost in their life, they're better people. They're smarter, they're more moral, they're not pissing away their life. They're just better in every capacity. Moral, mental, everything. And you don't want to be the people participating in the Joneses battle. You don't want to be the soccer mom who's got to whine and hold out sex from her husband so she can get a Range Rover that they can't afford. You don't want to be these people. You're better than them. And not only are you a better person morally than them, you're going to live, and you are living, a better life than they are. Because again, we all die at about 80. Right? And unless you're particularly starving, which most people in the United States and Western civilization aren't, there is no real reason to be chasing after wealth. Hey, now, look, is it nice to make $1 million? Absolutely. I don't know. I'm just going to assume it is. Would it be nice to win the lottery? Sure. But if you get to the point you're at right now where you like life, you only have this X amount of finite life on this planet, and you'd rather spend it doing what you want, well, then you're richer than Steve Jobs was ever, because he worked until he was dead. These people who are in debt, I see them when they come and take my class. Not all of them, but I see I went through divorce and the house, at 59, it's time to get serious about retirement. Like, it's over. You're going to work till you're dead. You don't want to emulate these people. Not to say there's anything wrong with competition or free market or being your best. There's nothing wrong with that. But that should be a pursuit for your own personal satisfaction. Like, I want to be the best pole vaulter. I want to be the best Python programmer. I want to be the best wood maker. That's fine. All right. But it is not, it's for healthy competition. It's for craftsmanship. It's for achievement and legacies. You can point, I'm a very skilled computer programmer. Right? But it is not to engage in competition with these lampreys, with these parasites, with these weasels. There's no reason you should ever want to become like these people. So I just, that's basically, I know I said I had to, and I did. I had to sit and think this one through. Oh, that's very interesting. You know, humanity competes. Yeah, but look at humanity. Look at 98% of them. Do you want to be those fuck knobs? Have you seen the average American? Do you want to be this debt-laden, worthless, degreed fuck with no hope, and all they can do is point to their shoes or their bling or whatever else it is, and that's what they're so common, they're so inferior, they actually believe the shit they're told on TV. Get a worthless degree and buy shit and crap that I don't, you want to be those people? No way, dear, you are already infinitely better than the average bear. And I'm not joking. There's probably a lot of guys down in the comment section below saying, what? A woman that spends $5,000 a year? Hell yes. And not only because you're saving money, but that is the sign of an intellect or a very interesting person, someone with an interesting philosophy. Hell no. Do not go and become one of these people. Do not participate in their game. It's kind of like, hey, we're with the herpes and we're with the STD infected swingers club so we all can spread our STDs. Do you want to play in that game? Do you want to piss your life away? No, absolutely not. Anyway, yeah, if you want to pursue what the lemmings pursue, and that is independent wealth, which is okay if you can get it, but the other thing is the vanity. You are now going to have to sacrifice the number one most important thing in your life, and that is your time. And I'm sorry, once I get a certain modicum of income coming in, I don't need any more money. I'd rather have my time. You know, right here, it's kind of like, I got to do this now. Standing, it's, not my office. I got to do it when I can. Because the fuck if I ain't riding my motorcycles out in the West this month. I think you should be perfectly happy where you are. And if you want, try to figure out a way if you can watch American Beauty. And even that doesn't do it. I'm trying to find a place where you can go, because you can't see it. That's the thing. You can't see the vanity. You can't see the horrible finances. You just can't see it because everything looks. This is why I think poor people are a little bit envious than they should be of rich people, because poor people see, oh, the guy's got his Beamer and he's got this boat. And like, trust me, as a banker and seeing their financial, they don't have that boat. They don't have that car. It's the bank's boat. It's the bank's car. It's the bank's house. These people are, I'd rather be poor and have like no debt than be these assholes with 2.5 million in assets and 2.6 million in debts. So you can't see it because it looks all pretty and glittery, but I guarantee you behind that are miserable fucking people. Miserable. I'll give you another example. Let me tell you a little story, and then we'll go. Lake Minnetonka down into the west, south into the west of the WBL. It's a big lake on the western side of the Twin Cities. And this is where all the new money goes. This is where the Cargills are. This is where the Daytons are. This is where the Pillsbury's are. This is where, I think the guy who created Breathe Right Nasal Strips. So anyway, we take a tour. You can sign up. You go on this boat and you get a brunch, I think for $35. And they show you all the rich houses. So we're with friends. And he says, yeah, I know somebody who lives in that house. And this was not a big man. It was a nice house, but it wasn't the big mansions. But still very, like Minnetonka. Where? And he says, yeah, she runs a makeup company. I'm like, Estee Lauder? L'Oreal? Because, you mean, that's the type of fucking money out there. He's like, oh, no, it's some bullshit multi-level marketing thing she does. I'm like, what? They live on Lake Minnetonka? It'd be like Winnetka, the Hamptons, and you find out Wifey Poo runs a multi-level marketing, does Amway or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, she's not making any money. I'm like, huh? And then it dawns on you, wait a minute. How delusional is that woman living on Lake Minnetonka? Like, what has daddy got or the husband got to do to work to provide for this lifestyle? Does he have an equally shitty job? And then you realize, wait a minute, it's all Potemkin villages, PTO. Look it up. It's all plastic because it's credit cards that's being built off of. Some of it is legitimate wealth. I'm quite sure the Pillsburys do have a lot of money. If you have any single daughters, send them my way. No, I'm already spoken for. But yeah, it's dude, you just be a minimalist. You do not want to participate in the rat race. It's not worth it. Only rats participate in the rat race. I do mean rats. I mean inferior fucking piece of shit human rats. And fuck them. You go live a better life. All right. You guys got questions? Go to assholeconsulting.com. Read my books. You can find them on Amazon.com. Search Aaron Clarey, AARONCLAREY. And then I got the Clarey podcast. You can find that on SoundCloud.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.